Welcome back, college baseball fans, to another episode of ACC Central. I'm Monty Taylor, and today I am joined by not one, but two members of the greatest baseball team I've ever seen, the 6 a.m. Cal Bears. Carl Schmidt, Jacob French, thank you guys so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's first, before we get into some of last season, let's talk real quick. Carl, we talked a little bit right before we started recording. You were on the Cape. You were on a really fun to watch offensive team that featured a couple other ACC guys like Kent Schmidt, the other Schmidt in the conference, Ryan Zuckerman, and they had Micah New, who I think ended up being the MVP. Can you talk to me a little bit about your experience on the Cape and that team in particular?
Yeah, my overall experience on the Cape was awesome. Obviously, being managed by Salty and having a bunch of guys from all sorts of schools all over, kind of getting to meet a bunch of new guys was a great experience. And I got to go become a lot closer with a bunch of the guys over the summer, such as Schmidt and Zuck and Micah New, obviously. But just being able to go out every day and be managed by Salty was a blast.
Yeah, I love that. Now Salty's out there at Miami as an assistant, but yeah, Carl, it was funny because I actually knew that you and Kent Schmidt would be on the same summer league team because right before your ACC tournament game against each other, Kent had mentioned that you guys were going to be on the same team, and I got really excited for double the Schmidt. But you had a great summer, hit 284, 10 extra base hits. The Cape's not supposed to be that easy, Carl.
Yeah, obviously it's a tough league, tough fields, hard conditions to hit in, but found a way to get it done.
Absolutely. And you were leading off and hitting at the top of the order a lot of that time, but we'll get Jacob involved here.
I played for the Prune Packers actually around here in Napa or up in the wine country. And it's in a new league, the PEL, but I mean, still good baseball is played there.
Oh, you got to stay closer to home and playing some baseball there. How was that, getting to play every day and kind of simulate a little bit of a pro, kind of schedule?
It was great. I mean, Joey Gomes, he's one of the best coaches I've had. I like Joey. I think he's a great coach. And the Prune Packers in general up there, we play some good baseball, play some good teams, and yeah, had a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had a great summer. It sounds like you just kind of picked up where you left off a bit. Jacob, we will start with you again. Coming to Cal, making that jump from D2 at San Francisco State to D1, you didn't seem to have any issues making that adjustment. You hit 390 at Cal in the second best conference in college baseball at the D1 level. What made Cal the right fit, and how was that transition from D2 to D1?
Well, Cal just being the right fit. I mean, it's right in my backyard. I'm from Benicia, which is not too far from here, 30 minutes away. And Mike and the coaches, they just were really inviting to come to Cal, making it the right fit. And the transition from D2, a lot of people, even my teammates, give me a tough time for, D2. Is that even really baseball? We play some good baseball down there, there's some good players, some bounce backs, just some good JUCO guys, like a mix of some good baseball players in general. But obviously going to the ACC, there's some top end talent there. It's just being prepared, putting in the work in to know how to face those top guys.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point. We're seeing a lot of D2 guys, such as yourself, and even D3 guys making that jump and making it look pretty easy. So I think we're finding out very quickly that there's some great baseball being played at the lower levels. Carl, you were at Texas A&M as a freshman. You're from California. You come back to Cal Berkeley. What was the transition like in that case, and what made Cal the right fit for you?
Yeah, well, the transition was pretty easy. Also, being a Bay Area guy, being familiar with Cal Berkeley, obviously, and being up here as a kid, going to games and just being involved in what Berkeley is like. But just overall, the coaches just had a fit for them. They also were reaching out to me in high school as well, so it wasn't like the first time I was talking to them. And then it just happened to fit so well that it became a great fit for me.
Absolutely. Both of you guys are traditional infielders. That's, I would imagine, what you came up as, but you both ended up playing mostly the outfield last year. How was that kind of conversion, and is that kind of where you guys are more comfortable now, or are you guys going to get some opportunities to play in the infield this season? And Carl, we can start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I pride myself in being a utility. I'm not going to say I play one specific position, because if the team needs me to play another position, I'm willing to do it. So I'm honestly, whatever the coaches and the team with best interest for them, I'm willing to play.
Jacob, I imagine you're rather similar, because I feel like you were kind of listed as utility last year on the roster. If I'm not mistaken, is it kind of a similar attitude there?
Yeah, and me and Carl like to talk about it. It's like we're gonna play anywhere we can get our bat in the lineup. Like we just want to hit at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. And you guys your bats need to be in the lineup somehow. So let's jump into talk about the season. I want to start with that Stanford series. Everyone's kind of picking against you. Stanford's off to a hot start. They're the arch rival, right? Cal Stanford. And you guys go into the Sunken Diamond and sweep. And Jacob, I don't know what happened to you, man. You reached your first 9 times. You were 8 for 8. You ended up being ACC Player of the Week. That kind of destroyed Stanford's season from then on. Let's talk a little bit about that series and how awesome that was. I know it wasn't always the best season last year, but what was it like to, deliver in that kind of a rivalry series and dominate the way you guys did?
I mean, going into Stanford, we all know the history. Like Cal Stanford, that's an all-time great rivalry. And we're going to the Sunken Diamond. It's a great place to play, honestly. But we wanted to destroy Stanford, and even after we went up 2-0 on the series, we were like, that's not enough. Like we need to sweep them.
Carl?
Yeah, I would say that just going into that series, we all knew it was at stake. Everyone wants to beat Stanford in the rivalry, but I think just overall, like going into their place and sweeping them at their place makes it that much sweeter. So
Yeah, Jacob, can you describe real quick like what it feels like to be on that kind of a heater? I mean, it's got to feel like almost like you're going to live forever. You're never going to get out again.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost what everyone says. Like they ask, "What are you thinking at the plate?" Absolutely nothing. You're not thinking anything. Like the ball looks like a beach ball, and you know you're gonna get a hit.
Love that. So you guys didn't play in the Pac-12 because you guys were at different schools, but you're still West Coast guys, and you still kind of had to transition into the ACC. Can you describe what it was like with the travel requirements you guys kind of had and how that kind of played a factor and what it was like? I mean, because I'm sure last year's a learning curve for both you guys and Stanford as you kind of adjust to this new conference. And even though you guys weren't part of the Pac-12, I feel like you guys can still give some insight into kind of how that, period of adjustment occurred last year.
yeah, I mean, we traveled a day earlier, so we would travel on Wednesdays, basically to get ahead of like the time travel and just like our overall scheduling. But I'd say we learned a lot, just like how to take care of our bodies and make sure we're eating right, because when we're playing 4 games in a row, especially on the travel weekends, like we have to get ready to go to Louisville or Georgia Tech for like a big series. So kind of just the bounce back recovery time, like we have to be ready to go.
Absolutely. Jacob, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, it was just like another level of kind of adversity. Is like one time in Louisville, we got stuck in the airport, had to sleep in the airport. Got back like 8 in the morning the next day, back to Cal, and then we had to get ready to play the next day. So it's just getting over stuff like that, and really like what Carl said, like getting our bodies ready.
Yeah, that's an underrated thing. And another thing I like to bring up is, again, in the ACC, academics is a big deal, especially at Cal Berkeley, and you guys still have to do your homework and perform in classes. So there's a whole lot of time management going on, I imagine. So let's talk about the ACC tournament. I introduced you guys on the show. Best college baseball team I've ever seen. You guys played at 9 a.m. local time in North Carolina, 6 a.m. California time. 6 a.m. Cal Bears, I'm convinced. You guys take down Miami and Wake Forest, and it didn't really even feel like the other two teams were ever really in it. I know Wake Forest fought a little bit, but you guys really dominated. How are you guys able to get there? Because you guys finished at home on a Saturday, and then you played Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. California time.
I mean, did we just travel? I think we traveled the next day on Sunday, and we got up to North Carolina, and we had like a little practice or something like that, and then went to bed early. The next day, there's maybe a couple energy drinks or something like that going on, and we were just excited to be there. Like the way that the tournament's set up, 16 seed gets to go in, and I don't know, we just did our thing. We just wanted to compete and go win.
Yeah, the whatever energy drinks those were, they clearly helped because it looked more like the other team was the one that had been stuck on 6 a.m. time. Carl, you had 6 RBIs. Jacob, you I think hit 692 in the ACC tournament. An awesome moment for Cal to kind of continue. I think somewhere Cole Tremaine is still warming up to come into a game. It seemed like you guys were really down in the pitching department, and then he would just pitch. He pitched. I think did he pitched in all 3 games. It felt like it.
Yeah, no, he was a dog towards the end of the year. He was opening Friday, closing Saturday, and then we back out there for Tuesday. Like he was just being a dog like that, and that was great for the team last year.
Yeah, I think at one point I pointed out, I think Cole Tremaine is 2/3 of the weekend rotation because I thought he was coming in as like an opener on one of the days and then an actual starter on one of the others. It was just crazy. Another thing I noticed in the ACC tournament, you guys kind of had like a rally mascot there a little bit. Was it Baby Yoda dressed in cow gear? Is that what that was? You guys talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was like the Grogu. Yeah, our teammate like Jeff Hoffman, he was just a great team guy all around, and he really got us like fired up with like whatever celebrations, having a little team mascot, like something to go for, something to rally for, other than like obviously winning, but it really boosted the team morale and it kept us going even at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was calling Georgia Tech radio actually that day when I noticed it. I was trying to see it, and I was like, that is so cool. That's what's so great about college baseball. Some of those fun things there. Before we get into talking about, the fall and this year's team, I want to ask what it's like playing for Mike New because he seems like a fun guy to play for, a guy you kind of want to run through a wall for. Carl, what's it like having Mike New there? And then if you want to add on, Brett Wallace, a former MLB, or being your hitting coach.
Yeah, having Brett obviously as an addition to the hitting side is great because man played in the big leagues and had a pretty successful career. So being able to like take tips and nuggets from him is great, obviously, and just having him be in the dugout is awesome because being baseball players, I know Frenchie wants to play at the next level. All the guys do. Like having someone that's been there, done that is awesome to have just every day, someone to talk to. And then playing for Mike is pretty chill. He's pretty he kind of lets us do our thing, not like very strict about how we do things, which he gives us the freedom to go out there and basically compete, which is awesome.
Yeah, he feels really laid back. I really enjoyed the energy he kind of gives off. Jacob, you want to add on?
Yeah, I mean, playing for Mike, I mean, he kind of brings like almost like he had to go through a lot of adversity to get to the big leagues. I mean, he's a smaller guy for a pitcher, obviously, and he brings that to the team where it's like he had to go fight for his like position and fight for what he got. So he brings a lot of that to the team. And obviously having Wally's, he's great. I always talk to him about like taking tips and tricks from him. Like he's one of the best college hitters of all time, and he had a great successful MLB career. So if I can get a little bit of that, that's awesome. And if you could put that on the team too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that Wallace was one of the best because I always say he's an ex-major leaguer, and that's kind of like I don't think that's quite enough because he really was an incredible college baseball player at Arizona State. So let's talk about the vibes. How are the vibes coming into the fall? You guys, obviously, you mentioned it. You guys were the 16 seed last year, but you weren't. You had some ups and downs, but you weren't a bad team. What are the vibes like this year as you've reloaded a bit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this year we have a ton of new guys. We have like 20-something new guys, including freshmen and transfers. But the vibe has been good. We have a very close, I'd say, team so far. Like we like to talk about since we have so many freshmen, kind of the freshmen going at each other is good for the team. It's kind of funny, but it also like helps bring the guys closer together. But I like the group of guys we have this year.
Absolutely, Jacob. Vibes are strong.
Yeah, I think that we have a more diverse group this year, like bunch of different people from a bunch of different backgrounds and stuff like that. And it brings a lot of like different perspectives on baseball, which is really good for the team, honestly. And I mean, we're a really young team this year, and I think a lot of people have maybe doubt us just because we're young. And I think everyone knows that, and we feel like we have a lot to prove, and like we're gonna prove those guys wrong.
Absolutely. There's a lot of talent on this roster. Looking at it, it's just trying to figure out how it's going to kind of come together. And you've got to expect a lot of pitchers from last year got some valuable experience. They're going to take some step forward. But you guys are about halfway or so through your fall. You've got a bunch of scrimmages, inter squads left, but you finished up your, playing other teams. But you mentioned there's a ton of new faces, new transfer guys, a bunch of freshmen. Is anyone really stood out for you guys so far that, I'm sure everyone's playing well, but is there anyone who's really stood out and exceeded even your expectations in the transfer department, Carl?
I would say the transfer department, we have a guy from USC, Luke Hansen, looks really good, big physical outfielder. Hoping he can do some big things for us. And then obviously we have a bunch of new freshmen, so hoping to see that a couple of them can step up and provide some damage for us this year.
Yeah, I love how much they're posting about some of y'all's exit velocities. I'm seeing Jet Canadi's name come up a lot as a freshman he just looks like he's smoking some baseballs. Jacob, what about you? I know you've got a former teammate from San Francisco State. That has joined you?
Yeah, I mean, I have Daniel Murillo. He from SF State. He was my shortstop when I played second base with him. It's great having him around, and he's looked pretty good. But other guys like Carl said, Josh Hansen from USC. You said Jet Kennedy. He's big, physical freshman, hits the ball hard, and we have a guy from ACC too, Hideki Prather. Looked great behind the dish so far, and he's hit a couple bombs this fall. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the new guys.
Yeah, it's really fun to kind of see the roster. I have no idea how it's going to shake out because it looks like there's a ton of you guys that you're being contention for spots, and then you've got the pitchers coming back. Jordy Lopez had an incredible summer on both sides of the field, and you bring in somebody like Tristan Head actually was a former ACC guy at UVA before he was at Georgetown last year. So lots of guys. Is there any pitchers that maybe have stood out to you guys at all? Returners or transfers?
So far, I mean, a lot of the returners haven't got back into pitching yet, but some of the freshmen have been pretty surprising. Like, Colin Barr has looked good on the mound. Mac Garrett and Roach has looked good too. I mean, it'll be interesting because we do have a lot of returning pitchers that I think will eat up a lot of the innings. But I mean, we still need a couple guys who need to help us out. So I'm excited for that too. I'm excited for our staff.
Does the staff feel a little bit deeper than it did maybe last year?
And a lot more experience as well.
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes when there's injuries. You do get that experience and it pays off the next year. All right. Who on the team do you think has the best chance to have like a breakout season, similar to what you guys did last year in your breakout years?
I'm going with Hansen just because he redshirted last year. I think he's going to get a good opportunity to show the Bears what he can do this season. So I'm looking forward to see that. And then, like Frenchie said, I think there are some freshman pitchers that can have some big roles that can step up here and hopefully prove something.
Love that.
I'm gonna have to go with Hideki Prather. He hasn't got to play a lot at Clemson. I think coming here, he has a big opportunity to be a big guy for us. I think he can have that breakout year that we would need too.
Absolutely. He's one of those guys I'm really interested in because he sat for 2 years and I imagine absorbed a lot and is ready to have a, kind of those breakout years and really see somebody come up as a junior. Before we get into some of the fun stuff, what excites you the most about Cal baseball heading into the fall, Jacob?
You said heading into the fall or heading into the spring?
As you wrap up the fall. Sorry.
I'm excited to see us compete. Like, I think this year, especially, like, we get after it. Like, there's some some trash talking going on. There's guys getting really pumped up for other guys. I don't know. I'm just excited that we like to compete and we go after each other.
Absolutely, I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of the fall is when you got the inter squads and people are chirping, and you're all having a good time, but it's still really competitive. Carl,
Yeah, I say I'm looking forward to the Fall Road Series just to see like how guys like when it's like a series, like how they go about like their day, and then also just competing and surprising me with like some stuff I've never seen before. Maybe someone I haven't expected to talk some trash or whatever it is, but I'm excited for it.
love that. I did lie before we get into the fun stuff. What is obviously the fall is an opportunity to get better, and you're trying to get better overall as players. But you guys are both looking to get to the next level, and obviously you're trying to improve your games to have even better years. But if there's one thing in particular that you would highlight that you've been working on to try and improve in your game this fall, what has it been? And we can start with you, Carl.
I would say for me, strength, just getting as physically strong and physical I can before the season.
Absolutely, yeah. And you showed off some pop in the Cape. I know you only had the one home run, but you had 9 doubles with a wood bat. So in a very difficult league. Jacob, what about you?
I think strength and speed. I haven't really been a stealing bases guy, but I mean I would like to try to steal a couple of bases this year. And in the fall I've been doing an okay job at that, and then trying to backspin the ball over the fence. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely, and it's really an exciting time to kind of see how it all comes together in the spring. All right, we're gonna get into some fun things. We got team superlatives here. Hopefully, I can get we'll see if you guys agree on some of these, but we'll start with the team class clown. Who's bringing the laughter?
I'm probably gonna say myself on this one. Honestly, I think everyone in the clubhouse would probably say me. I'm a pretty fun, like to make jokes throughout practice and just keep people on their toes a little bit, not know what to expect each day. Kind of makes it fun.
I love that, Carl. I'm expecting to see more personality this year to highlight that, because I posted my my all vibes team so far that I've got for the ACC, and so I hope hopefully I can get you on there by the end of the year. But Jacob, what about you? You agree with that? Is Carl the team the team class clown?
Yeah, I would have to go with Schmidt, or I could go with on the pitcher side, Cole Clark. They both bring. I mean, they're in the same house. They bring good vibes all together, and they're great guys to have on the team.
Love that. All right, how about a glue guy?
Mm. I mean,
You going? Go for it.
okay. For my glue guy, I would have to say, I mean, again, Cole Clark. I think he's like just a great team guy in general. Like he brings the laughs, like I said, but he could be serious and like bring all the guys together.
Yeah, I was also gonna say C squared. We call him C squared.
Oh, I love that. Love that. I was about to ask why, but then I was like, that's stupid. I know why. It's Cole Clark, 2 seasons. All right. How about a team leader? Does anyone, I mean, I imagine, you guys have, as some of the regulars returning in the lineup, I'm sure you guys have kind of naturally just kind of gone about that role. But is there anybody that's standing out as a team leader so far?
Honestly, I think Hideki has. So that obviously coming from big ACC program with some experience, he's kind of been there, done that, and he's just been a good guy to have in the locker room when you need advice or if something's not going like a certain way. He knows it, so he's been sticking up for the guys and also has made it known that he's there for everyone.
Love that.
Yeah, I would have to go with Cade Campbell. He's been 4 years here at Cal, and he really had his breakout last year too. And he's been really good just to have around, ask for advice, be one of the older guys on the team for especially all the new guys and the freshmen.
Yeah, Cade Campbell, one of the more underrated players in the ACC, in my opinion, one of the best third basemen last year. Kind of just went under the radar. It felt like all season, despite putting up some pretty big numbers, especially in the first half. All right, moving on to the team nerd. Now you can take this academically, or you can go with the pop culture nerd if you want. It's 2025. Being a nerd's cool, so don't worry about offending anybody. But who you got as the team nerd, Jacob?
Um, I don't know.
Carl looked like he might have been ready with an answer.
I
Yeah,
got one.
go ahead.
Team nerd, I gotta go Gavin Eddy. Just because he's a big school guy, so he definitely knows the interesting facts and all that sort of stuff. So I gotta give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going that way, we could definitely go Gavin. He's probably the smartest guy on the team.
Yeah, I like to give several options there because there's different ways to be a nerd, and and also I was wondering how much you're able to kind of separate yourself at a school like Cal, where you guys are all academics plays a big factor in your decision to go there because you've got to make sure you got the grades and everything. But last one I've got here, who's best dressed?
I would say, I mean, Kodama puts on some pretty solid fits. I mean, even Schmitty definitely has the best shoe game on the team, but Ethan Kodama has some pretty good fits he puts together.
Yeah, Kodama's a good one. Also, honestly, Garrett Makoviak, one of our transfer pitchers, being from Georgia over there, he put some good fits in.
Love that. I did have one more I've added recently in interviews. Best hair. I'm losing my hair, so I like to highlight guys who have still got it going pretty strong.
Trying to think, I mean, we have hats on all day.
That's the thing is that's true. Yeah,
I was wearing a hat, so
I don't know.
yeah.
I would say Kodama, but he shaved his head, so he doesn't have.
Yeah, I could have shaved his head.
Shaved it.
Oh man. All right, we'll move on. Local food staple. Let's say I'm coming out to Cal Berkeley and I need some recommendations on where to eat. What's the go-to food spot for you guys?
Pizza de Laura is one for sure. We go all the time. Uri also. Everyone goes to Uri. It's right by the field and get you a little rice bowl with basically any choice of protein.
Yeah, I mean, that we go to Summer's Kitchen, we go to Gordo's,
Mampuku.
Humble.
You guys are crushing this. A lot of guys will give like my favorite is somebody will get like I think Lucas Moore gave me Cane's Chicken, which is a fast food franchise, and I was like that's not helpful. But you just gave me like 6 options right there. That's great.
Yeah. You got a lot.
There's a lot of food over here.
There's a lot of good food spots.
Love that. All right, moving along. Toughest pitcher you faced in the conference last year, Carl. We can start with you.
Let's see. Obviously, Forbes is electric at Louisville.
Yeah.
I want to say, who else was really good last year?
I think Fritten was pretty good.
Fritten was really good. Also, Titworth.
Yeah, when Fritton's on, he's very good. Titsworth is yeah. Jacob, what about you?
I think personally, who had my number was probably Forbes. Like Forbes for me was hard to hit because he had that run right at high velo and he had a sharp slider that played really well that day. So
yeah,
for me personally, it was him. But I mean, obviously there's guys like Arnold last year. There's Fritten. There's a bunch of good arms in the class last year.
I love asking this question this year because I'm getting a lot of variety of responses. Last year it was universally Chase Burns. So, it's been nice getting different answers this year from, because you've got a lot of talented guys, but Chase Burns was just on another level 2 years ago. All right, game day routine. What kind of routine do you guys go through, on your game day? And are you either of you superstitious? What kind of things do you have to get done? And, and are you guys more loose or locked in?
I'd say myself, I'm more so loose, but also locked in. I'm not really a superstition guy, but ever since last year, Frenchie and I have been taping each other's wrists before the game, like just our athletic tape. So that's kind of like our pregame ritual at this point. Like right before we go out there, we just tape each other's wrists and then go out and play.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, superstition is not really a thing anymore. It's more a ritual that you feel you need to do to prepare yourself than anything else. But Jacob, what about you?
Yeah, I'm more of a loose guy, honestly. Like, I'm not like a take a million swings before the game type of guy. like, to take a couple rounds off the tee, maybe a couple rounds off the machine, hit BP or whatever. But I'm more like a listening to music before, like big just listening to music like all day almost, just to like relax me.
Do you think that's kind of the key, the laid back kind of like not overthinking? Because you mentioned when you were on that hot streak, you're not thinking at all. Is that a big part of why you were so successful at the plate? Is you just don't overthink and you're just kind of laid back and relaxed?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of guys who like press and they're like, I need to play well this game or like something like that. I feel like that's when you really struggle is because like you're really expecting yourself to perform right there and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. If you're more like laid back and like let the game come to you, I feel like that's when people are successful.
Absolutely. And I think that's a unique kind of thing with baseball because, like, in some of the other sports, you can just kind of be like, I'm going to take this game over and control it. And if you're good enough, you can do that. But, like, in baseball, it feels like the more the harder you try, the harder it's going to be. So it's always interesting to kind of talk about that psychology of the game. But favorite MLB players to emulate or watch? Are you guys both Bay Area guys, Giants fans, or is there?
Yeah, I'm an A's fan.
Yeah, he's an A's fan. I'm a Giants fan.
Oh, the A's aren't in the Bay Area anymore, though.
No, but I mean, when I was a kid, I was all Oakland. So, I mean, they're all gone now out of Oakland, but I was like a A's, Warriors, Raiders guy.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch Nick Kurtz, especially after covering him on my side. I'm not at all surprised. I'm a little surprised because it's just a crazy rookie year he's having, but I'm not surprised of all the ones to be hitting like that it's him. But yeah, favorite MLB players to emulate or watch, Jacob.
I'm kind of a big like Bryce Harper guy.
Oh yeah,
I think the way that like he carries himself and he has so much confidence at the plate, I just like the way that he plays.
Yeah, I'm a Nationals fan. I still have trouble. Like, I still miss him in DC, and it's been 5 years now, 6 years. So, Carl.
If we're going not current, I gotta go Barry Bonds. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Obviously, everyone wants to hit like that, but in today's game, there's so many to choose from. I mean, obviously, guys like Aaron Judge and Shohei, like it's absolutely ridiculous what they do and at a consistent level. But more so, like who I'd like to watch. I've always been a big Mookie Betts guy ever since a little kid. Just kind of being an undersized guy who just plays the game extremely hard and has done it for years. So, I like to watch him.
Carl, that's two Dodgers that you mentioned there with Otani and Betts, by the way.
I know.
And for the audience, we are recording this the morning after an 18-inning thriller in Game 3 of the World Series where Shohei Otani got on base 9 times and had 4 extra base hits and just unbelievable. Did you guys stay up and watch that game? I mean, it wasn't as late for you guys as it was for me.
Yeah, I mean, 18 innings in the World Series. I mean, we were all staying up watching the TV, watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was sitting there complaining about I had covered Wake Forest the other day because they had an 18-inning scrimmage, and I had been complaining that it was 18 innings. And it's a lot better when the game counts for sure when you're watching it. But anyway, last one I've got for you guys: favorite ACC ballpark besides your own.
If we're going last year, I gotta go Georgia Tech.
That ball flies.
Georgia Tech was pretty nice, and then like even like Louisville, the ball was flying when we were playing there. So, and it was turf, so it was nice too.
Yeah, Jacob, the way you were smiling, I thought you were going to say the Sunken Diamond because of what you did there. The way you were smiling, I thought you might have said that.
I mean, the Sunken Diamond was cool, but I mean, Georgia Tech was way better. I feel
that skyline at Georgia Tech, I think, is one of the best in the country. That the city of Atlanta just right up there. The common answers I'm getting a lot. Sometimes that people like to base off atmosphere. You know, Clemson and Florida State have some really loud atmospheres. So, but yeah, that's going to do it. Unless you guys have anything else you want to add, you guys have been great. It's been fun to sit here and talk ball.
Yeah, thanks for having us. That's all.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having us and taking the time with us.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. I love bringing up the 6 a.m. ACC tournament thing because that was still just insanity. But we'll be back in a couple days with some more interviews of other ACC players. But until then, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.